Today is National Numeracy Day, and since so many parents are trying to homeschool, I thought this was the perfect opportunity to discuss how parents can support their children's numeracy skills. To be perfectly honest, I myself have a bit of a love-hate relationship with maths. As a child, I was quite academic, and maths was the only subject I really struggled with. Ironically, it turned out to be my favourite subject to teach. I think because I could empathise with children how difficult it can be. For parents, if you are quite good at maths, it can be very frustrating to help your child as you don't understand why they can't just get it. Children, on the other hand, can feel very frustrated when parents are patiently trying to explain how to do something, but they know that's not how their teacher does it at school. To counter this problem, there are some amazing online resources that teach maths concepts to all ages, and some recommendations can be found on the Educating Matters blog. I think parents can support their children's numeracy skills in 5 main ways. Firstly, parents are a child's first and most important teacher. Parents don't necessarily need to be teaching their children new maths concepts from scratch, even now, whilst they're not in school. Many teaching methods had changed, so if you do plan to teach your child, I would advise that you check in with the method that their teacher is using. Family support is, however, one of the most powerful forces to strengthen children's achievement. At home, kids need to feel safe, supported and encouraged. Secondly, parents can really help children see that maths applies to everyday life and it can be fun. Being in lockdown means you can take advantage of the home context to make maths applicable and as relevant as possible. For instance, measuring ingredients for a recipe, spending money online, laying the table for dinner, counting out the cutlery. My 10-year-old this week was learning percentages, and when we were doing an online exercise class on YouTube, she was really excited to see we'd completed 68% of the class, and then it clicked as to why it's useful to understand percentages. So continue to use opportunities at home to emphasise that we really use maths every single day throughout our lives, and this helps it to feel relevant and worthwhile learning. Thirdly, you can help your children gain confidence and develop a positive attitude towards maths. Research clearly shows when parents believe their children can learn challenging material and they set high but realistic expectations, children rise to the occasion. Here in the UK, there's a bit of a feeling that maths is something you're just born with, being good at or not. There's a perception you can either do it or you can't, which is wrong. Saying things to your child like, "Oh, I know how you feel, I was rubbish at maths when I was at school," or "Don't worry, you can give up when you're 16," of course isn't particularly positive or helpful. With maths, it's fundamentally about your child's mindset. Maths can be challenging, but the struggle is part of the fun. It provides a great vehicle to help children develop a growth mindset. It's really only when you persevere that the magic begins to happen. And so many times with my own children and when I was teaching, I've seen kids finally have that light bulb moment when something finally clicks. And it's that excitement and sense of achievement. If they say they can't do something in maths, just say you can't do it yet. And it takes time and trial and error. Fourthly, reinforcing what happens in school. Maths is a series of steps or building blocks, and you need to kind of grasp one concept to move on to the next. So if they don't practice, children quickly forget a method that they could have understood just a few days before. So if the school are setting work remotely, see what they cover each week and try and reinforce and practice those concepts at home, ideally in a more fun and practical way than they can do in school. Finally, practice those skills that need to be firmly established, particularly at primary school, like times tables or number bonds. If they've got a knowledge of these basic facts at their fingertips and good mental math skills, it makes the subject much less tedious and more enjoyable. If you or your corporates would be interested in a talk for parents on Numeracy Matters, this covers how maths is taught in school and how parents can effectively support their children at home. For further other ideas, please see educatingmatters.co.uk.